Here is exactly what to eat and how to work out to transform from skinny fat to fit. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of Slim, the all-inclusive platform that gives you a custom meal plan, workout plan, access to me, and everything you can need to reach your goals. If you're new to the Skinny Fat series that I'm doing here on my channel, then you might not be familiar with the disclaimer that I always give that we use skinny fat in the title, but we never use skinny fat in real life. I will never call somebody skinny fat. The way that I want to describe the situation that we have here is that your body fat percentage is higher than you would like it to be, and it probably should be for health, and your muscle mass is lower than you would probably like it to be and should be for your health. So low muscle mass, high body fat, lower body weight than what would perhaps seem to be overweight. That is what the scientific objective definition of skinny fat is. I find skinny fat to be a little bit offensive. I like low muscle mass, high body fat better. So as I've been talking about in this series, there are two phases that you want to go through if you want to transform from skinny fat to fit, to increase your muscle mass and to decrease your body fat percentage. The first phase, and you can do either first, you could do the bulk phase first, or you could do the cut phase first. But tongue twister. You could do the cut phase first to lose body fat, or you could muscle gain first, whatever you want to do. But we have two phases here. One is going to be focused on losing fat. I'm going to talk about how to eat and work out for that. And the other is going to focus on how to gain muscle, exactly how to eat and work out for that. These are separate. Don't try to do both at the same time. I just realized my camera was here this whole time. Don't try to do both at the same time. You won't get anywhere. You're going in two opposite directions. They cancel each other out. Now, to make sure that you are monitoring your progress effectively, it is essential that you are using a body analyzer to tell you whether or not you're actually gaining muscle and you're actually losing fat. And that is why I recommend the Hume Body Pod. This is linked down below so you can get it, discount code and everything. It is so easy to use, and it has 98 precision in comparison to medical grade accuracy. All you do is step on the scale, you hold these bars right here, and it's gonna give you not just what your weight is, but it's also gonna give you your muscle mass, your body fat percentage, and it breaks it down. It'll say that you have a certain amount of muscle mass in your arms and in your abs and in your thighs, etc. And you can see where you're holding fat, how much of it is visceral fat. It is such a great way to understand what the number on the scale is telling you, because it doesn't tell you the whole story. So when you're in your fat loss phase, you can track your body fat percentage. You can also track your water weight. So if you find that your weight goes up one day and you think, what the heck, I'm in a fat loss phase, it might not actually be because you've gained fat. The Hume Body Pod can tell you that, oh, that was just water gain. And then when the number on the scale is going up and you're in your muscle gain phase, you can be rest assured you're not gaining tons and tons of fat, you're gaining muscle mass. If you're really serious about this journey, I cannot recommend this Body Pod highly enough. So many of my clients have purchased it, and they're so happy that they are, so that they can see the progress that they're making in terms of lowering their body fat percentage and increasing their muscle mass. And what's so cool is that you can link it with things like your Apple Watch. You can track your sleep as well. It's so much more than just understanding what your weight is. It really does help give you a full picture into your health and wellness. It's linked in the description bar. So to demonstrate exactly what you should eat and how to work out in both of these phases, I'm going to be talking about what a typical breakfast is going to look like and a typical morning workout. So starting with your fat loss phase, when you are focused on losing fat, it's imperative that you are in a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is when your body burns more calories than you are eating. So your body burns a certain amount of calories every day. In order for you to lose fat, in order for your body to go into a fat burning state, it has to be receiving less calories than it needs so that it turns to the energy stores on its body, which is your fat, and it converts that into energy. That's how the fat burning process happens. You're not eating technically enough calories to sustain your body weight, so your body turns to your fat stores. Whereas when you're eating more calories than your body is burning and you're in a calorie surplus, some of that energy is going to be stored as fat to then be used in what your body perceives to be perhaps a future famine. So a great breakfast to help you get into a calorie deficit. For both of these, I'm gonna do oatmeal, but you're gonna see the difference in terms of a fat loss oatmeal versus a muscle gain oatmeal. So with a fat loss oatmeal, we're of course going to start out with oats. If you really wanna maximize your fat loss, then choosing oats less processed, that's going to help your body be in a little bit more of a calorie deficit because the food is less processed, so your body has to burn more calories in order to digest it. This is a really teeny tiny difference, and it's almost negligible, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that if you eat rolled oats as opposed to quick oats, your body's gonna burn a little bit more calories digesting the rolled oats as opposed to the quick oats. All that being said, I personally eat quick oats because I find them to be more tasty. So we have our oatmeal. Now, another tip that you can use here is to mix in something like shredded zucchini or riced cauliflower. You can buy it frozen, the riced cauliflower, or you can buy a zucchini and use a cheese grater and shred it yourself. And a good ratio is to use about 1 medium zucchini per each cup of oats that you're using. So you put in a cup of oats, you grate an entire zucchini and put it in there, and then you use water for your liquid. So you're using about 1 3/4 cups of water, microwave it for about 5 minutes. Now for the mix-ins. This is PB2 powder. I believe that this is the brand name PB2 powder. It is just powdered peanut butter, no sugar added, nothing else added. This is a lower calorie version than traditional peanut butter, and it can give it a really nice flavor. I also love adding things in like cinnamon and a little bit of ground flaxseed as well. And then I have banana here for a topping. So this would be a great fat loss breakfast because adding in the riced cauliflower or adding in the zucchini is gonna help increase the volume of what you're eating and increase the nutrient density, but it's not going to increase the calorie intake too much. In comparison to, I'm gonna switch over to what a muscle gain breakfast is gonna look like before I talk about the exercise so that you can see the difference here. So we're still gonna have oats for our muscle gain breakfast. That's gonna stay the same. But the liquid that we use, do you like the string here, dividing the two by the way? The liquid that we're gonna use for the oatmeal, we're actually gonna use a plant-based milk. So I have here almond milk. This is more calories. You could use, this is barely any calories. It's 30 calories per cup. But if you were to use something like a soy milk or a cashew milk or an oat milk, it might be more calorically dense. You could get up to over 100 calories per cup, but it's a good way to add in more calories to help with bulking, because when you are in this muscle gain phase, you have to be in a calorie surplus. In order to build new muscle, you have to be eating more calories than you're burning. While that's happening, you're going to gain some fat as well. There's no way around that one. If you're gaining muscle, you're also going to be gaining some fat, and that's why you then go into a fat loss phase. You can alternate between the two if you're really looking to shape your body in a certain way. This is the way that bodybuilders do it. So we cook the oatmeal with the liquid of choice being the non-dairy milk. Now for toppings. So as opposed to using the peanut butter powder, we're gonna use the actual peanut butter. This is way more calorically dense. This is about, I believe it's 70 calories for 2 tablespoons, whereas this is about 200 for 2 tablespoons. For the peanut butter that you're using, make sure it doesn't have any oil or sugar added. I love Manna Organics. They have awesome peanut butter, but you can find any peanut butter at Whole Foods or at pretty much any grocery store. You'll be able to find peanut butter that doesn't have any oil or sugar added to it. Then for toppings, I also have here some maple syrup. Again, this is something that when you're in a calorie surplus and you're looking to get in more calories, it's okay to add something like this. Whereas when you're in a fat loss phase, this is a source of extra calories. It's liquid calories, it's extra sugar, it piques your appetite a little bit more. So we're gonna wanna keep that in the muscle gain phase. And then I have a topping of peanuts here. So any sort of nuts, walnuts, chia seeds, peanuts, cashews, what other nuts? Pecans. What do people put on their oatmeal? What other types of nuts? I'm not a nut on oatmeal girl. I'm not a crunchy girl really in general. And then of course we have a banana. So you see the difference here? Oatmeal for both, but the difference in liquid is water versus non-dairy milk. The difference in peanut butter is peanut butter powder versus fatty full peanut butter. And then for toppings, we can do banana for both, but we can go in with some maple syrup, a little bit more nuts and seeds. And for both of them, flaxseed is fine. Flaxseed, ground flaxseed, you can do here and you can do here. This is just so great for hormonal health, for digestion. It's so healthy, so I'd have it in both phases. Do we see the difference? Calorie deficit, higher volume, more simple, less ingredients, versus muscle gain is calorie surplus, more ingredients, lower volume, higher calorie, more calorically dense. Now let's talk about the difference in workouts when you're in a fat loss phase versus when you're in a muscle gain phase. When you're in a fat loss phase, you want to focus more so on doing high repetition but low weight. So I have here, represented by my resistance bands, something like resistance bands workout is a great way to make sure that you're keeping your muscles toned. You're not going to have them deteriorate because they're not being used at all, but you're not doing such heavy lifting that you're exhausted and fatigued, and that's going to make you crash out, and you're going to turn to food and coffee and caffeine, etc., to try to get some energy. We reserve the heavy lifting for the muscle gain phase. Also cardio. You want to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit and that your body is burning more calories than you are eating every day. And so making sure that you're doing cardiovascular exercise. Do you have to do super intense HIIT workouts and run marathons? No, but you want to do consistent cardio that's getting your heart rate up so that you're getting the burn. You're burning more calories than your body is using. So weight loss is cardio, high rep, low weight. In comparison to when you're in a muscle gain phase, you're going to do higher weight, lower rep. So that's represented by this big dumbbell here, where you're gonna put on a bunch of weight, lift heavy weights, lift as much as you can. You're gonna be doing a lower amount of repetitions, but the higher amount of weight is using a philosophy called progressive overload, where you are forcing your muscles to grow because you're lifting such heavy weights that the muscles, you have to create more muscle mass in order to keep up with all this weight that you're lifting. You also aren't going to do as much cardio. If you're doing tons and tons of cardio, it can make it hard to build muscle. So you're going to pull back on the cardio a bit. Now, if you're in the Slim program, I give you a custom meal plan and a custom workout plan based on exactly what your goals are. So if your goals are to lose weight, or if your goal is to gain muscle, you'll get a meal and workout plan that goes along with that perfectly. So if you don't want to, try to figure all this out on your own, then you can get into the Slim program and just select what your goals are, what your age is, what your weight is, all of that, and it'll give it to you customized, and then I'm here to answer all your questions for you. So that might be a more efficient way to get this done. But whether you're using the Slim app or not, make sure that you have your Hume Body Pod to track everything along the way. It's so empowering to see the insights and to understand truly what's going on in your body. And additionally, it is just so cool to see gaining muscle and losing fat. It makes you feel really proud of yourself. So if you want pride to be a part of your journey, I would highly recommend the Hume scale. If you like this video, I'm going to link the Skinny Fat series videos on the screen next. So stay tuned for those. I love you, honey, and I'll see you in my next video.